Dude, Luke, the printer's still busted, man. What the fuck?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode 129 of the Topless Robot podcast. My name is Ryan.
I'm Truckstop Blowjob.
That's Kalen.
And boy, howdy, has it been a week. So
It has been a week.
I'm not on it today.
I feel like I have absolutely no idea what has happened this week because I've been in like a major depression funk for the past few weeks. And
Feel you, brother. Found it.
Let me catch you up to speed then.
Brooks got a Truckstop blowjob.
It was at a Love's. Does that count? Is that a truck stop or is that just a commercial gas station?
so is a truck stop blowjob where like you just pour cheap chili and nacho cheese over the dick beforehand, or
You're overcomplicating this. It's literally just a blowjob at a truck stop, okay?
Okay.
Don't get bougie with it.
Smells like gasoline.
You put the
There's
cock
piss
on a
on the
roller
floor.
grill first,
You
and
have to use Denison's or Wolf chili and only the finest cold cheese that you can find. And then you put it on a hot dog and you eat it, and then you get a blowjob.
Now you know why I tour so much.
and
Lot of
then
truck
you get a
stops.
blowjob. Like you're not getting a
Yeah.
blowjob while eating it.
I mean, you could also be giving a blowjob while eating a chili dog.
Yeah, like this.
I wouldn't recommend. Yeah, exactly.
Double
Yeah, so
fisted.
those foot-long Coney Islands from Sonic aren't kidding around.
You just have to master the art of only chewing on one half of your mouth.
Well,
Yeah, don't mix it up and accidentally chew.
It's like when you throw away something that you meant to hold on to, and
Yes, exactly like that, except more cock death.
speaking of truck stop blowjobs,
Yes,
Tyler
I
will not be
almost
here
got a
today.
spit take.
damn it, cock death.
Yeah,
More cock death.
Tyler could not be here today. He has assured us it is the last time that he is going to miss the podcast ever in the history of ever. So
That's because he will no longer be part of the podcast, so we can't miss it.
That's up until his local truck stop needs him to service the glory holes again, and then we'll miss him.
Yeah, that's what the PS5 actually is. It's a pull in and suck in 5 guys.
Wait, so
that's a
it's
stretch.
PS5.
That's a stretch.
but what if they have a peanut allergy?
Good one.
More Five Guys meta humor.
Oh,
Yeah, because of all the peanuts and stuff.
yeah. I see. I understand now. I get it.
I left on the inside, I promise.
So what happened this week?
So, I was very surprised to see that one of the Kickstarters that I kickstarted, a Metroidvania that I think we would all enjoy, called The Last Faith. I've talked about it on the podcast before. It's like a Bloodborne Metroidvania-esque kind of thing, very pretty pixel graphics.
I hope he plays George Michael in it.
That is not slated for release for quite some time. Like its delivery date is a ways off. And as with literally every single game that has ever graced Kickstarter, it's not going to meet that delivery date. So I was surprised to learn that the prototype was available for Kickstarter backers and we're allowed to stream it. So I started playing a little bit of it and do have plans to stream it sometime in the near future. It is gorgeous and has like little executions and stuff that are unique to every enemy, and it's this gothic Metroidvania, style. It feels great, And
I don't know what it is, how I've been programmed by this last year or two, but I was assuming you were going to be delivering bad news. Like the way you were building up, I was like, "Oh, that sucks. The guy died or something." Like, but
no,
that's
I was just super surprised when it was like, "Hey, get your
Turns out the
prototype so you can
of
play
his
it."
Kickstarted game causes homicidal tendencies to emerge.
It's,
How long is it? Did you get to the end?
I did not get to the end. No, I have only played a little bit of it because I want to stream it.
How complete of a game do you reckon it is?
Like in what way? How do you mean? Like the prototype?
So,
How
like,
complete is that?
Yeah, it's a prototype. Like, what? I am an ignorant layperson here, so I don't know what that means. As far
I really
as,
have
like,
no idea. I'm sure there's probably plenty of tweaking that they intend on doing, and it certainly doesn't. It's got probably less content than an early access game, is my guess, compared to what their intent is on release. But just to have early access to this prototype is super cool because I get to get a feel for this thing that looked was promising enough for me to back it on Kickstarter. So in a world where I am so used to waiting, I mean, at this point, I've talked about Radio the Universe before. Radio the Universe was supposed to be delivered to me in 2014 or 2013. And it was then supposed to come out last year, and it didn't. So I'm still waiting for Radio the Universe. That's what I've gotten used to for Kickstarter games. So to get the prototype this early is fucking rad. It's seriously rad. And
That's awesome.
To actually see that promise that I saw translated to actual control and gameplay is great. It's always not you can only get so much from seeing these Kickstarter trailers. And nothing's a sure thing, so it's always a relief once you dive into it and you're like, "Yep, this is exactly what I was looking for. This was exactly what I wanted."
Well, hell yeah!
So
it's always nice to hear about anything good happening on Kickstarter.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I think it's been 8 years since the first time I backed something on Kickstarter, and nothing ever came of it. Just lost that money forever.
I've only had one Kickstarter where I lost the money, and even then I didn't really lose the money. There was one part of the things that I was promised was not delivered, but I did get 3 out of 4 things that were promised.
You
in
got
the
a
Kickstarter.
receipt.
But I finally shook that fear, and I backed something last week. So
Oh, really? What'd you
hopefully-
back?
Oh, Mighty Number 9 too.
Yeah,
Mighty Number 10.
Yeah, it's actually this thing called Dungeon Alchemist that's being developed over in the UK, I believe, and it's basically a software that allows you to just kind of draw shapes, and it automatically populates dungeon maps for tabletop games.
Oh, cool.
And then you can individually go in there with all of the things that it's pre-placed and resize them and change them or add. But you can basically just drag a square and it's all right, cool. Here's your house. Here's your dungeon. Here's whatever. It looks like it's going to be really fucking cool.
Nice.
But if it doesn't deliver, I will literally never open a Kickstarter website ever again.
Many years ago, I owned the domain cartographer.com without the E, so cartographer.com. And I was inspired by the D&D campaign that I was in at the time to digitize our map. And so I took some pictures of the map and then recreated it in Adobe Illustrator and then wrote code to slice it up to allow for varying zoom levels in a Google Maps format. And I was going to use Cartographer to let GMs create sessions basically on Cartographer where and they would upload their world map and players could be invited to have certain edit capabilities, so they could make notes for their character at each stop on the map, so that you could follow the session path basically on the world map, and players could make notes about, you know, things that are specific to their character and that like happen for their character, what their character was thinking, to kind of help tell a story. And especially since it's so difficult to get large groups of people together for D&D, it's great reference material where you can then go back and reference, okay, what has happened so far, you know? Unfortunately, I wrote functional code for it and had the Google Map thing and landmarks and everything working for our session, but ended up scrapping it.
Because everyone died in a horrible plane accident.
There are also just so many things out there today that can do that. So resurrecting it wouldn't really be wouldn't really be worthwhile use of your time, I think. It does sound super sick though.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. I mean, I have a lifetime license to Campaign Cartographer and anything that I can get my hands on like that. I have a monthly subscription to Incarnate, like all of these different things for map making and resources. There are a lot of really cool services out there.
Yeah, at the time there were I couldn't find any really, and especially none that, like, you know, we're all used to interacting with Google Maps, so I figured since Google Maps supported custom tiles, it would make sense to be able to bring that whole thing into a Google Maps environment. But
yeah, I mean, I literally, when I run World of Darkness campaigns, since there's real world cognates for everything, I literally just download a Google Maps like separate file, and you can just add landmarks and notes to it. May as well, right?
Right.
That's dope.
Aside from that, another Kickstarter that I backed finally delivered. Cyanide and Happiness, Freakpocalypse, their point and click adventure, came out on Thursday.
Wow. Is it funny?
I mean, it's Cyanide and Happiness, so yes.
Right.
They're always hilarious. I have not played a ton of that just yet either, because I grabbed Torchlight 3 on sale on the Nintendo Switch, and I've been playing Torchlight 3.
How's that?
Not as good as Torchlight 2.
Yeah, Torchlight 3. It's not great.
Oh, that's what your reaction was.
Yeah.
Got it.
I can't remember the exact story behind it, but basically what everyone seems to have told me is that they basically had to release an unfinished game, and it shows.
I've never played any of the Torchlight series.
Torchlight picked up the torch, so to speak. After, like, they filled a void left by Diablo 2. So Torchlight came out in the vast space of time between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. And no one else was really doing dungeon crawlers, like Diablo-like dungeon crawlers. And Torchlight scratched that itch and brought with it a lot of quality of life improvements, like pets that you could load with unwanted items, so you're not filling your inventory all the time, that you can send back to town to sell everything that you put in their inventory and then come back to you while you're still in the dungeon.
Nice. Pets. Like with a Z at the end.
Absolutely. Yeah, it didn't really scratch the itch in the same way that Diablo does for me. Like, Torchlight was, I could only ever describe it as being very okay. I could never, like, fall in love with it.
I loved Torchlight 1 and 2. 3 is okay so far. It seems a little aimless. And I don't know. I don't really like the classes all that much, but
that's kind of a big deal in a game where your abilities are derived from your class choice.
Yeah.
How much was it on sale?
$20. 50% off. So
I was thinking about picking up Minecraft Dungeons.
I wouldn't.
It's the same thing, right?
Why don't you go outside and throw a ball around with your friends or something?
Ugh.
Well, I've just been playing this shit out of Outer Worlds, so.
Yeah, you enjoying that?
Oh yeah, I mean it's been quite some time that I've played an FPS that I actually played longer than a day.
I guess
several days.
Speaking of Obsidian, the Microsoft acquisition of Zenimax finished this week.
Mm-hmm.
So that led to 20 Bethesda titles hitting Game Pass. Yeah. So Dishonored 2, pretty much every Doom game, all of the, Morrowind on up of the Elder Scrolls games.
Fallout, Prey.
Yep. So
You've played them all already?
pretty much. Yeah, I mean, there's good games there that are worth revisiting over and over again.
Prey is one of my favorite games of all time. Prey is amazing.
Prey is great. The Doom, I'll always revisit a Doom game. I saw someone post something that cracked me up. The first game to be released post acquisition is Doom 3 exclusive to PlayStation VR.
Does it have the duct tape fix?
I honestly have no idea. I imagine it would have to. It could be, but Doom VFR, I hate Doom VFR. Like it's not good.
If they would just do it with like you hold the controller, but then you have the immersive headset, like
that would be fine. Absolutely,
because it's creepy. You know, it's dark. But when they ask you to do the jump to that is a nightmare.
Yeah,
I hate that.
Yeah.
That is the one form of VR movement that I can't fucking stand.
No, it's fuck that.
Yeah.
It will ruin it for me. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, what was that one game that kept chonking out on us? Blade and Sorcery or some shit like that?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called anymore, but I think you're right. That game we could not play at all. That was the closest I'd gotten to barfing in VR because of how chunky those frames were.
Yeah, dude. Frame rate, when you lose frame rate,
sub 10.
When you lose
sub 10 frames,
when you lose frame rate in VR, that is like it. People say it's your equilibrium and locomotion and stuff like that, and so you get barfy when you can't feel like you're moving, but you're actually moving, and that's why they have things like teleport and lock turns and shit like that. But man, all it takes is a fucking frame rate stutter, like because none of that smooth motion walking without actually feeling like I'm walking, none of that gets me sick. What gets me sick is when the shit starts stuttering. You start losing frames and it's like, oh, whoa, hold on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was after the first couple hours that I played Phasmophobia with the smooth movement on, like I finally got used to it and it was great from then on. I couldn't imagine trying to play that teleporting or with the 15-degree fixed turn angles or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I could do it.
Robo Recall has teleporting, but you're not doing it all the time.
Basically, you're teleporting from objective to objective and standing there for a bit, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Which isn't terrible. In Doom, it's like
you constantly have to teleport to avoid being shot.
Yes, and on top of that, they actually allow you to telefrag. So you can teleport onto a damaged enemy and explode them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
should just be a feature in the base game.
Yeah, right.
That's a silver lining at best, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only part of that movement that's good is the fact that maybe you'll telefrag something.
Yep.
Yeah, like Skyrim, it was like, okay, if you're just exploring, it's still annoying, but like a Twitch game like Doom, like it just would be, it's impossible. I don't understand why they even thought it was a good idea to release it like that.
Yeah. Yeah, what were the three? Didn't they do Fallout VR as well?
I don't think so.
I thought they did Fallout 4 VR, Skyrim VR, and Doom VFR.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, Fallout 4 VR.
Oh, wow.
That I could see as being maybe interesting if Fallout 4 was more interesting.
Yeah. So I'll say the same thing I always say. Bethesda makes good, empty, soulless shells that people can make into good games, but that's about it.
So I do
Without
a search
mods,
for Fallout VR, and a couple of there are two videos from the same channel. One released January 11th, 2018, titled Fallout 4 VR is an absolute nightmare. This is why. The second one was released March 29th, 2018, from the same channel, titled Fallout 4 VR is not an absolute nightmare. This is why.
video includes paid promotion.
Yeah, right. Todd Howard gave me a reach around, and now I am making a new video.
It just went down to the truck stop.
So,
I like that we can have all this bawdy talk now that Tyler isn't here.
Touche. He's so wholesome.
God, if you call Tyler wholesome, he might get so angry he will come join the episode to yell at you.
yeah, right.
He does not like it.
I don't want to talk about Winkies around Tyler.
The Topless Robot Masculinity Hour will be right back.
Listen to four guys of varying sexual deviance talk about their genitals for an hour.
Look at your screen. These four men you see, obviously the peak image of masculinity.
Chad.
Today we're going to talk about my Chad garden.
You know,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things, and really why I paint my nails, is these just look so nice and pretty wrapped
They're
around my
beautiful.
dick.
Yeah.
Man, I can't wait to see you punch someone in the face. Your nails are going to look so good with those busted knuckles.
We're not wholesome, but we're sure into some holes.
Are you sick of looking like a sweaty lump of flesh when you, a sweaty, pathetic lump of flesh when you masturbate? Here are some tips to pretty yourself up for your own enjoyment.
Get a manicure.
Remove the mirrors from your house.
Take a heroic dose of anything and then sit back.
Go to bed.
Become a Franciscan monk.
Then you'll really look like a dickhead. The transformation is complete. You will then become a full penis.
Shave your head. Wear a turtleneck.
Trying to think what else has been going on this week. I have started a venture that I am ashamed to admit I have not done to this point in my life.
You get a barbed wire tattoo.
Oh, Lord, no.
Tramp stamp?
Oh, Lord, no. Well, that's more in the realm of feasibility than a fucking barbed wire tattoo.
You started taking showers.
Permanent makeup.
I started watching the Star Trek movies.
Oh, you haven't watched the... Oh, you should have led with this today. You could have skipped all that gutter speak for something far more intellectual early.
How much time do we have?
I have never watched... The only Star Trek movies that I have ever seen are Generations, Nemesis,
The good ones.
and I think that's actually it.
I love how awful
Oh, and First Contact.
the TNG for some of the. Okay, yeah. All right, I'm right. Keep going.
So I started with Star Trek 1. And
Star Trek, the motion picture.
yes.
Star Trek, the screensaver.
I realized it's actually been a very funny experience because I realized about halfway through that I've seen this Futurama episode. Because
That's funny.
The Futurama episode is better than the
the
movie.
Futurama episode is the Vagini, the satellites, the military satellite, which collided with a V chip satellite and went off into space and became sentient and went off on a censoring spree, censoring the universe to everything that it thought was bad. And sure enough, we get V'ger. And I'm like, wait a second. This is a Futurama episode.
Yep. I actually have a vintage poster of that first movie that Danny got me from Hollywood a couple of years ago.
Nice.
I would turn the camera to see it, but it's not that cool.
Also, your camera is frozen, so.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
He was frozen for me. He's not anymore.
He's frozen for me. That means he's frozen for everyone else.
No, he's not frozen for me anymore.
No, I mean, that means he's frozen for everyone else who's watching the stream.
So nobody else. One second.
Your eyes only.
There we go. So, and then I started watching Wrath of Khan, but fell asleep. So I have to continue on with Wrath of
Or
Khan.
director's cut?
Original, I think. I'm pretty sure it's the original.
Okay.
So
There are a couple of extra scenes that kind of. I don't want to say that the theatrical doesn't make sense, but it kind of fills in a couple of weird things.
Jasmine's just trying to get us to Star Trek 4, her favorite.
Star Trek 4 fucking kicks ass. All of the even numbered ones are good. 2's great, 4 is fantastic, and 6 is probably the best of the TOS crew Star Trek movies, in my opinion. Wrath of Khan is great, but
I gotta be honest, as someone who's seen 0 of these movies, hearing that the 6th one might be the best is really impressive.
Yeah, right.
that one is a murder mystery in space.
I could see that being interesting. It's to me, I find it interesting that so the first movie came out like 10 years after TOS was off the air.
It was supposed to kick off phase 2 of that show.
Yeah, and like then it has this long successful run of films, which is rare, you know?
Well, I mean, Star Trek 1, 3, and 5, you know, it should have died with those ones.
But
they're awful. They're so bad.
I was never a big TOS fan. I was a big TNG fan. And so that's why
Fairweather Trekkers.
the first
Or,
one,
a Trekker with taste.
yeah. I mean,
Nah, man.
You want to try and tell me that Picard wouldn't mop the fucking floor with Kirk?
Yeah.
Why is it always this? This is like the thing that people.
All the
care about
characters.
most. It's like
Worf, Data, Geordi.
Yeah, dude. Geordi hosted Reading Rainbow, for
Riker.
fuck's sake. Geordi taught generations of children to read.
No,
Yeah.
LeVar Burton taught generations of people how to read.
No.
He's
That's
Geordi.
Geordi with his eyes fixed.
Yeah.
So it's not Geordi.
Are you telling me that when Geordi gets his eyes fixed, canonically, that's not Geordi?
No, because then it's Geordi with still cybernetic implants. But
And LeVar Burton with no visor and stubble? Damn.
I'm just saying that Geordi was born in the 24th century, according to the show, and Reading Rainbow took place in the 20th century.
So you think.
They
And
travel back in time all the time. They traveled back to find the guy from Babe who discovered the warp drive.
time
Well,
travel,
yeah, but
and time
that
travel
was
is
in-
canon.
That's still in the future.
The
And that's-
farmer from
Oh,
Babe
is-
invented warp drive.
Look,
What?
Yeah,
Look,
Zephyr
look.
Cochrane invented warp drive.
You're
However,
saying just
there are
because-
things that have to happen before we can get to that.
you're saying that just because they only traveled back to this point, and that point that they traveled back to is in the future, the sheer fact that time travel exists in this universe means that there's no hard limit on how far back they can go.
Yeah, but also, what would the motivation or the point be?
To teach generations of children to read.
Yeah, Brooks,
but
take a
people are
look.
already doing
It's
that.
in a book.
It's reading
Fucking
Rainbow.
Brooks.
I taught myself how to read, guys. So I don't know. I don't know what this needing some kind of crutch from the future. It just proves how weak your minds are.
LeVar Burton also taught me that I was colorblind. I learned that I was colorblind when I was 7 years old watching an episode of Reading Rainbow.
Did you put a
Ryan thought
hairband over
LeVar
your
Burton was white
eyes?
this whole time.
It just doesn't matter. You're talking to Brooks. He was literally born with a book in his hand. Like, he's that much better than us. He's superior intellect.
2 books. It was 2 books. It was crime and punishment. Oh man!
God, I just imagine you being born and your mom going, "What? You couldn't have come out with some young adult novels? You got to come out with these big fucking books and make life worse for me."
Yeah, I was a C-section baby, so
And now we know why.
Oh, I thought it was a nonfiction section, baby.
You're a fellow excised tumor, Chad, like myself.
Yeah, and me as well.
oh yes. Parasites to have been removed from the host.
Not me. I've been pushed out of a vagina. It's been happening the rest of my life.
Wow.
So,
but to go back to your this TOS TNG who's better debate. I mean, half of the TOS characters interact with the TNG crew, so it's not like there aren't episodes proving that everyone is good at their job.
sure, that's
Like
very true.
Relics, with Scotty and Geordi in the same room. You have the weird two-parter with Spock where they're undercover people.
I like the one where Scott or Geordi falls in love with the hologram of the chick who like revolutionized warp travel.
Oh
That was-
yeah. But the argument for me is the better writing is on TNG.
Oh yeah.
And acting.
And acting,
characters.
absolutely, and acting, and
Yeah.
more deeper characters. Yeah.
TOS is a horror show in space.
Yes.
But with a hey now everyone spin on it, because individually every one of those incidences are horrible life scarring things that if the TNG crew had to deal with that much fucked up shit all the time, it'd probably be on edge too. It'd probably be led to drink. No, because every episode is like, and that's why we in the future have decided to put this thing behind us, which is, how we get out of this problem when we find out that the problem is sentient and its feelings must be considered. Not blasted, Jim.
I can't remember what I was going to say. It
Star
probably
Trek rules. That's what you're going to say.
probably had something to do with Tasha Yar. But yeah, so because I was a TNG fan more than TOS, the first Star Trek movie I ever saw was Generations, and I saw it in the theater.
Oh, bummer. That's a terrible movie.
I loved it.
The theme slaps, though.
I
theme for that
thoroughly
movie slaps.
enjoyed Data with Emotions.
Oh, yeah, it was...
You mean lore?
Yeah, the one thing that I was, let me nitpick as a Star Trek fan. So they had that emotion chip for Data already in the show, and it was like this big. It was like super tiny. And then in Generations, it's the size of like a big Chex piece.
Continuity.
I mean, at least he still had his cat though, and he got his cat out at the end of Generations. Spot, cry.
So yeah, that is an adventure upon which I will be regularly embarking. I will report back every week.
You're gonna love how bad 3 is.
Really?
You know who the bad guy is in that one?
Who?
Christopher Lloyd.
Oh, really? Awesome.
Eh. But it's all worth it because 4 kicks ass. I'm not kidding.
Marty, we've got to go back to space.
This time travel thing we were talking about with LeVar Burton's only going to get more complicated. With that, yeah. Also, post-it note when you get to 4, talking about how irresponsible it is to bring somebody from the past to the future.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
All right, back to the Topless Robot podcast, as if we didn't alienate our viewers enough already.
Hey, come on! At least one person out there watches Star Trek. I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, we are a nerd podcast.
I know.
Yeah.
I have been made to watch one episode of Star Trek by a coworker that I hated, and I've never watched another episode of Star Trek ever again in my life.
Original series or Next Generation?
Or was
The
it
original series.
It was Deep Space Nine.
It was actually it was a time traveling episode of all things, where someone gets thrown back in time and forgets who he is. I think something like that.
Oh, that one is City on the Edge of Forever. That one's actually really good.
Very quick response there, Brooks. But I was made to watch it by somebody who wanted to act out scenes from it while it was on, and I wanted to choke him.
Oh, Lord, no.
At least it wasn't one of the musical holodeck episodes and he was singing.
Well, he probably liked those two. Ryan, you know who it was.
Oh, okay. Yep. I know exactly who it was.
Of the weird archway thing they had to jump through to do that whole thing. Do you know?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they weren't a big Star Trek fan. They were a big fan of getting attention for liking acting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, I mean, the acting in that episode is not great, so.
They weren't a great actor either.
Yeah. Anyway.
Point is, I'm never watching Star Trek ever again. Just had to get that out there.
I would say that Next Generation is worth watching, but Voyager is not. Enterprise is not. Well, Voyager is okay. Enterprise is not. Discovery is not.
Tongue, sir.
What?
Voyager
Kicks
wrong
ass.
with Voyager?
Yeah.
No.
Strong women?
My brain was first going to say Deep Space Nine.
Okay,
because I hate Deep Space Nine.
Sucks. It's trash. But there is a worse show now.
But I remember when Voyager debuted, and I am definitely a Janeway stan. But like everything else, I really wanted to like Enterprise because I like Scott Bakula, but mostly because I like saying Scott Bakula.
Scott Bakula.
But
Spatula.
it was
Back
not.
to Scott Bakula.
It was not good, and now we're on Action Trek with Discovery. So,
well, Enterprise is fantastic. I do not know what you're talking about. How deep did you get into it?
I honestly can't even remember. I watched it when it came out.
Brooks, have you watched the Lower Decks?
Not yet. I've been being pouty about watching it. I'm not gonna lie there.
I don't wanna.
Really, it's Star Trek finally.
Pretty much. I mean,
It's a spotless track record. They're gonna mess it up.
no, it's anything from spotless, but it's just like I don't want to watch Action Trek. That's why like some of the later movies are bad. Like the purple space bazooka in Star Trek Insurrection.
I enjoyed the first of the J.J.
Insurrection
Abrams
is a movie.
I enjoyed the first of the J.J. Abrams Treks, and that I would argue is like kind of the birth of Action Trek in the same
like
vein
how
as
fun they
Discovery.
are.
But
I like those movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think dude, those movies were a great like gateway drug for some people to kind of check out this Star Trek thing all the
And
youngins are
realize
talking about.
that there's not a single Star Trek that's even remotely like what they just watched.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ryan, you have plenty of movies to watch still that you haven't seen.
That's true.
you will see where Action Trek came from, and it is not the J.J. Abrams ones.
Oh, really?
First Contact is like the first like this is an action Star Trek movie because Picard like does a bunch of really interesting things.
It's been a while since I've seen First Contact, so I can't really remember that. But
there's that whole scene where he has the Tommy gun in the holodeck and is like gunning down.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that Action Trek. Like
he kills, he fucks, he's Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, he does. He's like swinging from hanging like cables and like, you know, he's got that whole like at the end of an action movie, the guy's wearing a tank top or some shit.
If that's Action Trek, then we need to come up with another name for the J.J. Abrams ones, and I would
Craction Trek.
I would almost call it like Michael Bay Trek. Because
fast food Trek.
Fast food Trek. Okay.
No,
honestly, yeah.
Because it looks like a meal, but it doesn't have the same nutritional content.
That's fair.
And you will hate yourself after eating it.
Yeah. Well, after eating more than you should, so watching all three in a row. That second one was dog shit.
What did I do? Yeah, the second one was Into Darkness, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah,
with Benedict Crambley Pants as Khan. Yeah, and then Beyond is the third one. I think
that one was great.
I did not see Beyond.
Just let Simon Pegg be in charge of the series, and that's all that I will say.
Let's see. What did you guys do over the past week?
I started a new job.
How'd that go?
It's weird, man. It's weird. I haven't worked in an office in like 7 years, and now I'm thrust into one. And I'm the weird new guy because like I put my band experience on my resume.
Why?
What? Because you can do that?
Yeah, because it's management experience.
Mm-hmm.
Like I manage the Ganderers.
That's fair.
If I was
putting stuff on your resume is just how well you can lie about the things that you've done.
True. Well, I mean, like it was a lot of work. So my boss, you know, the who interviewed me was like excited and told everyone about that stuff about me. And so now I have to I've had to answer a bunch of dumb questions, and you know, I'm just trying to work, guys.
And they're like, "You're so cool. We're not worthy."
I haven't had anyone come up to me and say like, "I would love to see one of your concerts."
I
sing me a song now.
I got a job once where they Googled me after the interview and found my YouTube channel. Where I was, and this was in 2011 or 2012, and I had posted a couple of bass playing videos where I was like, "Hi, I'm Ryan Schremp. I'm the bass player for Sparklefuck, and this is whatever." And so they found those videos and hired me after that, because apparently another of the guys who worked there was a bass player as well, with a band that got moderately famous, like they were signed to Roadrunner Records, and they got a kick out of the name Sparklefuck, and so they hired me.
You got that bass player nepotism, brother.
Yeah.
Someone has to give you attention. It might as well be another bass player.
Look, he's a bass player. He's already got the short end of the stick. We may as well, you know, make sure that he can feed himself.
For just pennies a day, you can virtually adopt a bass player. And you get a picture of you like in an alley playing a broken bass, you know, in like dirty clothes. For the price of a cup of coffee every month. No, you have to play you have to play a bass version of that Sarah McLachlan song.
Very close.
I mean, considering I don't actually know what I'm playing, I'm just...
That was a pretty good attempt.
Boy, if Tyler were here, we wouldn't be having this much fun, would we?
No, definitely not. So, how is this? I mean, obviously it's different in a lot of ways from your last job, but like, how are you adapting? How are you feeling with the new stuff?
Well, there hasn't been any training program, and it took 2 days for me to finally hear someone describe my job to me in a way that made sense.
That sounds hopeful.
Because like I've had so many acronyms thrown at me in the last, I started on Thursday, so Thursday and Friday it's like someone just came in, like dumped a bucket of like random Scrabble tiles over me and says memorize these by Monday.
Oh yes, the American education system.
But finally it took our CEO hangs out in the office, which is kind of cool. And he brought in a doctor we're hiring that we're gonna be working with, and was like, yeah, these are our PCCs. Oh, they're basically virtual medical assistants. And I'm like, finally, thank you. Just a straight answer for once. Also, I fixed a broken like door on a bathroom. Because like someone was showing me like, oh, this bathroom door is busted. Like, here's the trick to making sure it locks. And so I just like found a screwdriver and was like, hang on a second, this will take 2 minutes. Oh no, it gets crazier. So that's how I met Gary, our CEO, because I fixed the door. Not a big deal. Right, I hear people talking about it down the hall, and then Gary comes up to me and hands me a Visa gift card and introduces himself. And he says, I've had 2 people look at that door. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
And that's how you became the coolest guy in the office.
Do you work on
in his hand?
Do you work on a medical sitcom set?
What? I can't hear you, Ryan.
Do you work on a medical sitcom set?
I must. No, because like I found a screwdriver in the men's room. Right. I go to this.
Was there like light shining on it? It's like a quest item.
Yeah. Was it flashing? Was it highlighted on the pre-rendered background?
No, but as soon as I saw it, I saw in my peripheral vision now saving.
Don't fuck this up.
Don't fuck this up. Yeah, but. It's been weird. They haven't really had a lot of time to train me. So I sat with every person in every department on Friday. I hung out with the medical storeroom person. I'm never going to have to work in that room ever. But now I know.
They're just shuffling you around because they don't know what the fuck to do.
All right, it's your turn to babysit the new hire.
And that's what you get for putting band stuff on your resume. Like, this guy's useless.
No way, man. I know where we keep all like 6 varieties of catheters from a particular company.
Mr. Wilson, in your time as a frontman for a band, what would you say you learned? How to take my shirt off while singing.
My pants. While keeping my shoes on. Sometimes. And now I work a 9 to 5 in an office.
Wild.
I think that's the story arc of a lot of people who've been in bands.
Yeah.
There's either your story arc or my story arc.
Yep.
I live at home with my parents. I'm unemployed.
Well, and I mean, you're a bartender.
Right.
And a mind mender.
And still in a band.
True.
Yeah.
It's going great.
Yeah,
you're also a Truckstop blowjob expert.
Yes. Loves Flying J, Pilot, you name it.
And you released yet another not actual video for Donuts in the Rain this past week.
Yes, it's just a lyric video. It's not the actual video yet.
Is it just real-time donuts in the rain?
You should have just waited for it to rain and just filmed donuts in the rain.
Waited a long time.
What are you talking about? It rained this week.
Yeah, no one knew that. I should have, though. Damn it.
This is why you gotta keep donuts on you at all times.
Yeah, well, that'd be bad.
Yeah,
that's the problem is I can't keep donuts on me at all times. They get eaten.
You have so far released 2 not the official videos for Donuts in the Rain.
The official video is coming out on the 28th, and it's actually being debuted by this website that plays exclusively hardcore and like metal. It's a hardcore like metal blog. So that'll be interesting. They're the ones who wanted to do the premiere of it. So that it will be interesting how that goes.
There's going to be a lot of comments.
Yeah.
I'm really curious because like people who like love hardcore music and so much so that they frequent the blog about hardcore music pretty much have strong opinions about their music. So I'm definitely curious to see how that's going to go. Because it's not a heavy song, but it's not like it's a Snailmate song also. So I'm really curious.
It's
but
heavy,
they requested
but,
it.
Yeah.
We had a bunch of blogs that we sent it out to, and they requested to do the premiere of it. So
hey,
we'll see.
And even if it makes a bunch of shitheads who follow their website saying nasty stuff about you, that's still more attention that's drawn to your Snailmate music.
That's right,
true.
Mom. No press is bad press, sweetie.
You know what? You're still
hate to say it, but sometimes it's fucking right.
It is.
you're still my little rock star.
They might have called you a cuck, but I think you're a sweetheart.
Son, you'll always be famous for me.
Remember what those mean men online say. You're still number one in my heart.
Son,
You know
you've been
what?
famous ever since you started working as a dishwasher at Famous Dave's, and you're always going to be famous.
Yes.
My little superstar.
You know what? You're on the Billboard Top 40 of my heart. You're not number one. You're not number one. That will always belong to Careless Whisper. But you're up there on the Billboard Top 40 top of the pops hits for my heart.
Surgery. She had to get spayed finally because she hadn't been spayed before, and they found out that her uterus was it's called like hydromytosis or something, and so her like routine surgery ended up being like this super ordeal. So now she has this giant like scar on her tummy, and it turned into this big thing.
Holy crap! How's she doing?
It's good that we got it out of her. She's doing great now.
That's good.
Yeah,
She certainly seems to still have some fight in her.
Yeah, it ended up being really expensive too.
Yeah, I bet. That sucks.
Well, your cat thinks that you're a rock star, Kalen.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Your cat thinks that you are the Danzig of this relationship.
So what else?
So the lyric video we just put out, I went to a Star Wars opening crawl generator website, and I like screen captured I input my lyrics into it, and I screen captured it, and then I applied a bunch of filters to it, so it like, because I couldn't figure out how to like make the text do that on its own, so I like had to use a Star Wars opening crawl font generator.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. It worked out though.
It did work.
I once bought a font pack back in 2008 for the T2 font, so I could do my college papers in that. Community college was a blast, guys.
Yeah, a blaster.
Kalen, all the DIY stuff you've done, you're still not an expert in kinetic typography yet. You can't like do your own lyric videos that way.
Nope.
Follow the bouncing ball.
I don't know how. In the 70s, that's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, right.
You should release a lyric video for an instrumental song.
Oh, that'd be so funny.
That would be pretty funny. Or do like my friends in Direct Hit did, where they had to do a lyric video for their song Snickers and
we saw
Reese's, I
that
think.
one.
Yeah. Where
that was funny.
all they did was they're like, our label said that we needed to make a lyric video. So we took all the money that they gave us and we bought, like 100 bratwursts, and we're going to eat them all right now. And it's a video that sure has lyrics on the screen, but they're not the lyrics that go with the song, but they still fit the song, while the entire band just like speed eats bratwurst.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I had some weird ideas for some Ganders music videos that they just weren't going to make any sense at all. It was going to be like one of us doing sit-ups superimposed into the Grand Canyon for like hernia hop or some shit. So like just to fuck with people.
That's
Never
funny.
happened.
Damn it.
Then the band died.
Yup.
I'm writing these
And then
down.
the band brought them up to the Grand Canyon to film it, and then they fell in, Brooks.
What other video ideas did you have? Please tell me.
You should do a real-time video of someone making funnel cakes in
Hold
a
on.
funeral home.
Real time funnel cakes, you say?
In a funeral home.
In a funeral home, you say?
Yes. We just spin the Ganders music video wheel.
Right. You have 2 dartboards.
Yeah. Let's see. Donuts in the rain.
It'd be like South Park's Family Guy manatee coming up with the jokes with the balls in the tank.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, so real time rain, donuts left out in the rain, but you make it risque by putting all those donuts on like a dildo or something. You just stand it up like a stack.
And then
But
time lapse it.
Yeah, time lapse. It's very like it's just slow motion shot for a few minutes. You just see the raindrops coming down, and then you speed through it all the way to the end.
And as the donuts dissolve, you just
Like,
see
it's a
the
dong.
more and more. Yeah.
Oh.
That'd be funny because you don't know that it's a cock
Yep.
until the end.
You got it, dude! Oh my god! Galaxy brain!
So that reminds me, South Park had their second quarantine special this week, which was
I need
very
to watch
funny.
that.
And they spelled South Park with a Q, P-A-R-Q.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, like Avenue Q. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More like QAnon.
It's not Quiznos?
We got the subs!
I liked the first one, the quarantine.
Yeah.
Or the
Quarantine
pandemic
special. Yeah, or the
special.
pandemic special. Yeah.
That was a good one. So I'll have to watch this new one.
The new one is very good as well, as you'd expect. And they take a good old stab at QAnon. And
I don't know how they can even come up with jokes for that. I mean, it's a super serious thing. Like, how do you make fun of something so noble and foolproof?
Because some jokes write themselves. That's
Some
how.
joke, right? They didn't even have to try.
yeah, seriously.
It's just like a live stream of someone's Q
Right,
feed of Q information.
It's like when with like the Scientology one, they basically just read what the fucking like scripture said.
Yeah.
Or the Mormon one too. They're like, he came from the mountains.
Yeah,
Dum,
they
dum, dum.
have the fucking subtitles at the bottom say, they actually believe this.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Someone said I was waiting the whole episode for the subtitles to just say this is actually what QAnon believes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. No spoilers, but I will say, remember in the South Park universe, their Donald Trump was Mr. Garrison.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Garrison comes back. So,
Well,
yep.
wait, so is it like that last Star Wars movie? Is there a clone?
Return of the Garrison.
No. The Last Jedi, when they have the clone of Emperor Palpatine.
Attack of the Garrison.
Was he a clone?
I don't know.
I don't think I was gonna say I don't remember them saying he was a clone.
Or I'm sorry, it's, those Snoke dudes. I think are the clones because they show them in the Mandalorian.
I get none of this.
Yeah, I get none of this as well.
I watched it all, and I don't remember. I'm not piecing it together.
Well, I tried.
Maybe I'm not smart enough for all the subtext they're throwing at me in the Last Jedi.
Well, like we were talking about, you were not born with 2 books, so you could never understand the jokes he makes.
It's true. It's true.
Brooks is just books with an R.
Well,
That's
I
right.
mean, there's a reason that his Instagram handle is Books Wilson.
I didn't
Because
know.
he's a fucking nerd.
Maybe I should follow you. That sounds super interesting.
Follow me for more tips on marketing and sometimes the fast food I order.
All right, so what games have you guys been playing this week?
The Powder Worlds.
Oh, yeah, well, that we know.
Yeah.
Oh, the Outer Worlds. Got it. I was like, is that like a cocaine game or something?
No, he didn't say
Yeah.
powder. He said powder.
Oh, like
I'm pouting.
Yeah. How about you?
guys read about Star Trek?
How about you, Dan? What have you been playing?
Same shit as every week, baby. Nothing ever changes.
Oh, Neo?
No, I still own Neo 2. I still have to buy Neo 2. I'm gonna do it when I have money.
Monies.
Phasmo.
Yeah, always every couple days. And then Factorio, which is another game that is difficult to talk about because it's literally just automating manufacturing the game.
I have been wanting to get Factorio for a long time because it looks like a lot of fun and
You have
something
to
that you
invest a
will
lot of
fucking
time.
yeah.
Yeah, so if you're not willing to invest a lot of time in it, don't get it.
Well, I mean, I'm willing to invest a lot of time into something that fucking drags me in and makes me want to invest a lot of time in it. And Factorio looks like one of those.
Okay, I'm never sure.
Is going to break into your house and tie you to a chair. Take a
I
picture of
assume-
you with today's newspaper. Send it to your friends.
For a lot of people, it's probably kind of tedious, so I don't know who would like it and who wouldn't.
Yeah, I would. I'm super. I don't know what it is. It's just like the whole upgrading and automating, kind of thing. Like, there's no real
That
payoff
sounds
except
so unappealing to me.
yeah. There's no real payoff because all it is like taking processes that you started the game doing manually and automating them, and then like getting enough to upgrade the automations that you did to make them more efficient and things like that. Like
The payout is usually how ridiculous can you make your creation so that you can maximize the speed at which you make the local population on that planet go extinct. It's basically a game about crash landing on a planet full of insect life forms and committing genocide so you can build big factories.
You play the bad guys from Oddworld.
Yes.
You play the
Except you don't eat them, you just build trains that have laser cannons on them and have them drive by their homes.
You are the one slurs.
It's how Pikmin should have gone, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How about you,
The more
Kalen?
realistic direction.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing Dark Souls 1, the remaster still. I was gonna move on to Dark Souls 2, but then I beat Dark Souls 1 and I beat all the DLC and I killed everything, and then I started New Game Plus and I was like, I don't want to play this again, and then all of a sudden I'm halfway through New Game Plus.
I've said this over and over again. Your New Game Plus playthrough in all of the Souls games is the best playthrough.
It is. It's like, oh, I know where to go. It's easier, but it's also like there's still challenge. It's.
And you get to play the whole game with the build you want instead of like the first half of the game being, well, I just kind of have to use this sword because that's
Right.
all I have.
Yeah, it's almost like compared to the progress of a first playthrough, it's like a speed run.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fun. I can still die plenty, but I'm still OP enough to where I feel a sense of control instead of like
Panicking the entire-
just walking around with my shield up.
Well, I fucking love Dark Souls 2, so hopefully when you get around to that, you enjoy it as much as I did.
I do too. Dark Souls 2 was the first Dark Souls I ever beat back in the day. And
okay.
So I'm looking forward to starting it again. My little brother just started it. He did Dark Souls 3 first and then Dark Souls 1, and now he's on Dark Souls 2. So I'm really excited to get back into it again.
It's so good.
It's almost no one's favorite game, but I loved it.
I still to this day don't know why everybody shits on Dark Souls 2 so much.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as broken as Dark Souls 1.
Well, then they did the Scholar of the First Sin thing, which like just made it like 10 times harder. So
that's the way to play it as far as I'm concerned. All of those. I mean, I get some of the criticism of basically all they did was put a bunch of enemies everywhere.
It is like I was watching my brother start the game and in Dark Scholars of the First Sin, and I was like, oh God, like this is. But Dark Souls, baby.
Dark Souls.
More like Dork Souls, am I right?
Yeah.
Punish me, Souls Daddy, punish me.
I have been playing Super Mario 3D World still. I have 100%ed everything through. I'm on the star levels, which are much more difficult. The post game content, kinda. But 100%ed so far. I think I've got 3 levels left, something like that.
Well, you probably would be done already if you were a Toad main. You'd have just gotten to the game that much faster.
Since I got to the star levels, I am now playing as Rosalina.
Did you get any farther in Loop Hero?
I have not played any more Loop Hero this week. I will probably be picking it back up after I beat Super Mario 3D World.
Nice.
Because like I find myself sitting at my computer playing a game so infrequently. So it's one of those like I have to cut out time for it. Can't
you just stream it onto your device?
I don't think the controls will translate because it doesn't support.
So if you do the GeForce Now or whatever it is that streams it doesn't support touchscreen because there's no mouse.
It might. I'm not really sure.
Because that's a point. That's like a lot of clicking game.
Yeah.
Loop Hero.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's no
controller support.
Controller support.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's one that I definitely want to get back into though, because it's super interesting. Like I find games like that to be a lot of fun. It's almost like has the same sort of progression as like a Sim City kind of thing, except it's Sim Adventure, and it's just fun. It's Sim City if it was an adventure roguelike. So
it's tight.
Yeah.
Radical.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about in video game news, I guess I was reading about Roblox going public and like
that's
being
right.
the most valuable thing in the world.
Roblox had its IPO. I bought some Roblox shares, and it's not. I mean, it didn't have a monumental IPO. It was initially so they did a direct listing in order to get an initial offering value, and that initial offering price was like $45 a share. And on day one, they spiked to 72 and then came back down. And it's going to be a little bit before they really like steady out. I can't remember what they ended the week at. but it's definitely one to watch because Roblox is an extremely popular thing.
I don't understand it, but I am old.
It's because you're not a Zoomer.
Yeah. So Roblox is at $69.84 a share right now.
Damn. A lot.
Yeah, but I have lost $2.58 on it.
Well, you got to use the Roblox chain.
That's it! I'm done!
Stop laughing.
Blockchain.
Subscribe.